If you don't want to do what other people do, if you don't want to have an average life, listen to this story. When I was 16, I realized life's basically impossible to live correctly. Everybody you meet, every adult you meet, life full of regrets. I don't care how old you are, people older than you look back at their life and say, I just want a do-over. But there's no do-overs in life. That's the problem. They say life's like a parachute jump. You only have one chance. You mess up the chance, there is no second chances. You hit the ground and you fail. And most people, they say 80% of people don't like the three most important things in their life: their career, how they grew up, and who they're married to or who they're attached to, friends, family. Their social circle's not right. Income's not right. They don't like where they live. So I was 16, I realized that. I was a little bit ahead of the game, and I started thinking, I was like, how can I not be like everybody else? Everybody else I see has the same regrets. They hate their job. They don't make enough money. They feel isolated. They're depressed. They're not traveling enough. They're not happy. And so what dawned upon me was, why don't I just ask all the people that have way more experience what the solution is? But I bumped into a problem with that, because you can't ask people who didn't succeed how to succeed. Like, if you want to know how to win at basketball or football, your best person to talk to is someone who won a championship. My first test didn't work. I just started asking people all the solutions to life, like what I should do for my career, how should I make money, and I was more confused than ever. So then I bumped into this mentor a little bit later, this guy named Alan Nation. He said, no, Ty, the secret in life is to ignore 99 out of 100 people, but when you find the one person who actually knows what they're talking about, like, actually listen. So I was like, that makes sense. So the real secret is knowing who to fully ignore and knowing who to fully listen to. And the crazy thing is, you might have to ignore like someone close to you, like your parent. Now, I know quite a few people like this, but there's not many of them in the world. And when I was young, the problem was I had access to nobody with answers. Nobody. And so I went through life and I stumbled here, and I'm looking back, all the things I'm doing now that I love about my life, not my life's not perfect, but all the things I do love, I could have done. I wasted 10 years. And I promise you this, if you're watching this, if you don't understand what I'm saying in this story, you will waste 10 years of your life. And you don't have to waste those 10 years. The only thing you can't get back is the years of your life. So you look at your life now, I promise you, you're behind, just like I was behind. And I'm still behind. But I now have a shortcut, a way of finding answers. So let's just say you hate your job. Let's just say you want to make more money. I remember the first time I figured out how to make $100,000 a year. Before, I was making zero. I literally had less than $100 in my bank account. And I started listening to some people. I listened to this guy named Corey Rudl. Never even met him, but I bought books and he had this course. And he's like, here's how you make $100,000. And within 9 months, I made $100,000. I learned to use Google Ads, generate leads. I was working for GE Capital back then, and it worked. Like everybody else, I was looking around me going, what's going on? And I realized they weren't being selective in who they listened to. They were just listening to their mom, their dad, their uncle, their friend of friend. They were reading the magazine or newspaper, getting a little bit from Twitter and all that. Forget that. I became a hyper-focused listener. I became selective in who I listened to. At that point in my life, I just listened to Corey Rudl. I said, let me just follow what this guy says. Let me not listen to 38,000 people and get all confused. One person. And he trained me. And it worked. But that wasn't like, so then I knew how to make $100,000. But then I was like, man, life has more. I don't want to live an average life. I want to be growing. I want to be doing new things. And so, nightclub business. I was like, I want to get in the nightclub business. But once again, who do I listen to? Do I ask my friends? I didn't know. I grew up with a family, never met a millionaire. So I then get a little bit older, start meeting sharp people, smart people, people who have the answer. Corey Rudl is one of them. Then I meet this guy, Giorgio Bataxias. He owns restaurants and nightclubs in Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina. So I went to him and I was like, hey, and he had this partner, Giorgio and Jay. I said, will you guys teach me? And they started teaching. I remember the first thing they taught me about a nightclub. Keep it, don't make it too big of a nightclub. where it looks empty. They're like, close the doors, shut some walls off, make the thing feel like people like to feel like they're in a packed place. You don't want it too packed where it's like fire hazard, but that little tip, you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. I started learning selectively. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't ask my friends, my mom, nobody. I just selectively listened to a mentor. That's the whole point of this story, by the way. By selectively learning, I begin to skyrocket financially and just in life freedom and happiness past my friends, past people I went to high school, past people that I didn't go to college, but past people who went to college and I didn't go to college, and all of a sudden I'm going, man, there's something to this. And I followed that selective listening to the right people my whole life. But now I raised the ante, like I said. Last month, I'm meeting, those of you who watch my videos, you see Mark Cuban, you see people, Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer's now worth $52 billion. I had dinner with him not too long ago. I had a long conversation about the direction of my life and business. This is a guy who's $52,000 million. He's worth listening to. Now, here's why I'm saying all this. A lot of people, I've got over 10 million social media followers. Every single day, I got bombarded with DMs and messages and Facebook Messenger and snaps and all this, and they all say the same thing. Hey, lay out, what's the secret? What's the number one way to make more money? What's the number one way to... And I'm like, listen, I came up with this thought about a year ago, but I haven't really shared it much because I've been so busy in the last year. I'm going to take you from a white to black belt. I do jujitsu. So you got belts in jujitsu, right? Got white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, and then you can go coral belt and red belt, okay? You got all these different belts. So what if I could make you a black belt in what I call the 4 pillars of the good life? Health, wealth, love, happiness. You got to have all 4. You can't just be wealthy and miserable. You can't be just wealthy and so out of shape you die. You got to have the whole package. So I did a little test group, and some of you have seen it. It's called 5-Minute Mentor. Give me 5 minutes a day, transform your life. I'm going to share a 5-minute nugget every single day for a year. Take you from white belt. Each month you get a new belt. I just like the belt thing because it kind of makes you understand that there's a goal, and you hit the goal, and then you go to the next goal. Goal setting. I'm going to teach you everything that I've learned from mentors, every little bit. And these are people you'll never get access to, most likely. Or if you do, it'll take you a long time to get access. It took me a long time to get access to these people. So I'm going to give you something. You won't hear this at Harvard. You won't hear this in any book. You won't hear this at any conference. I'm going to open up behind the scenes in little 5-minute chunks every day something to you. So some of what I'm teaching you in these 5-minute daily mentor lessons is what I've learned through from myself, but a lot of it is what I've learned from other people. And I want to just make it so easy for you to get access. And I'm going to price it basically so low, like around Netflix price, maybe a couple bucks more than Netflix. So it's like 50 cents a day or something like that. Somewhere around that. And here's the thing. I'm going to make a test group. And I've never done this. This will be my first test group. Just like I did my 67 steps, my social media marketing, this is the first test group for my 5-minute mentor. What I'm going to do, you're going to become a founding member. You're going to get 2 years. Because this is a yearly program, but you focus on 1 year at a time, month by month, day by day, month by month. Then you finish a year. Then you can kind of go, that's the black belt. Then the second year is to work on getting your red belt, which is like super advanced stuff. And so you're going to get 2 years. I'm going to put a link below you clicking. You get 2 years. And then you're also going to get, and this is something I've never done, over the first 60 days that you click and get in this test group, this 5-minute mentor test group, I'm going to actually get on live calls with you each week. Either me or my mentors will be on these calls, my business partners. And I'm going to actually walk you through the first 60 days. My goal is to take 300 people. Massive. You know the movie 300? 300 people changed the world in history. Give me 300 people that have been trained in everything they should have taught you in school. So, you have only 1 day left before I close this.